Have you ever noticed that some people remain in your thoughts long after the conversation ends? It's not because they texted every minute, chased for attention, or tried to impress everyone around them. The truth is far more interesting. Female psychology suggests that the people we remember the most are often the ones who create genuine emotional impact, leave room for curiosity, and carry quiet confidence instead of desperation. In this video, you'll discover 6 powerful psychological principles that can naturally make you more memorable in her mind. These ideas are not about manipulation or mind games. They're about emotional intelligence, self-respect, confidence, and understanding how meaningful attraction actually develops. Stay until the end, because the final principle is one of the most overlooked psychological triggers, yet it can completely change the way people remember you after every interaction. One of the strongest psychological triggers in human relationships is curiosity. It is not created by saying more, explaining everything, or constantly trying to impress someone. Instead, curiosity grows when there is enough emotional space for the other person to wonder. In female psychology, this principle often plays an important role because the mind naturally continues thinking about people who leave a meaningful emotional impression without revealing every part of themselves at once. Many people believe attraction is built by non-stop texting, sharing every detail of their day, or always being available. While consistent communication has its place in a healthy relationship, constantly removing every mystery can reduce excitement. When someone already knows exactly what you are doing, what you are thinking, and what your next move will be, there is very little left for the imagination to explore. The human brain is naturally drawn toward things that feel incomplete or slightly uncertain. It enjoys filling in the missing pieces, especially during quiet moments when there are fewer distractions. This is why emotional curiosity can become powerful. Imagine having a conversation that ends on a warm, positive note, instead of dragging on until both people lose interest. Instead of forcing another topic or asking endless questions, you simply leave the interaction naturally. That small emotional gap allows your presence to remain in her mind. Later, when she has time to herself, her thoughts may return to that conversation because it ended before every emotional possibility was explored. Confidence also contributes to curiosity. A person who is comfortable with themselves does not feel the need to constantly prove their value. They speak honestly, listen carefully, and allow their actions to communicate more than endless words ever could. This quiet confidence often feels refreshing because it shows emotional security rather than a need for approval. People tend to remember those who make them feel comfortable without trying too hard to be noticed. Another important factor is having a meaningful life outside the relationship. When your happiness depends entirely on someone else's attention, conversations often become repetitive and emotionally heavy. On the other hand, when you genuinely enjoy your own goals, hobbies, friendships, and personal growth, every interaction feels more natural. Instead of talking simply to avoid silence, you bring fresh experiences, new perspectives, and positive energy into every conversation. This creates genuine interest because your life reflects purpose rather than dependence. Curiosity is also strengthened when your behavior is consistent. If your words and actions match, people begin to trust what they see. Emotional stability creates a sense of safety while still leaving room for discovery. She does not have to wonder whether you are pretending to be someone else, but she can remain interested in learning more about your personality over time. Healthy mystery is never about hiding your true self. It is about allowing someone to discover your character gradually instead of revealing everything in a single day. It is also worth remembering that silence itself is not the source of attraction. Silence becomes meaningful only when it follows genuine connection. Ignoring someone to manipulate their emotions usually creates confusion rather than respect. However, allowing natural pauses between conversations gives both people time to reflect, process emotions, and appreciate the interaction. During these quiet moments, memories often become stronger because the mind has space to revisit them without constant new information replacing them. Psychologists have long observed that people tend to remember emotionally engaging experiences more clearly than ordinary ones. A conversation filled with laughter, thoughtful questions, kindness, and authentic confidence leaves a deeper impression than hours of meaningless small talk. When someone feels understood and emotionally comfortable around you, those feelings can quietly return later, especially during the evening when the mind becomes calmer and more reflective. Ultimately, emotional curiosity is not about playing games or making someone chase you. It is about becoming a person whose presence naturally sparks interest through confidence, authenticity, emotional intelligence, and a fulfilling life. When you communicate with sincerity, respect healthy boundaries, and avoid the urge to explain every thought or seek constant validation, you create space for genuine attraction to grow. Instead of forcing someone to think about you, you simply become memorable because every interaction leaves them with something positive, meaningful, and worth remembering. People rarely remember every word that was said during a conversation, but they often remember how that conversation made them feel. This is one of the most important ideas in relationship psychology. Emotional experiences leave a stronger impression than ordinary interactions because feelings are stored more deeply in memory than simple information. If someone consistently feels relaxed, understood, appreciated, or inspired whenever they are around you, those emotions can continue to surface long after the conversation has ended. Many people make the mistake of believing that attraction is created by giving endless attention. They send constant messages, seek continuous reassurance, and try to stay in contact every moment of the day. While attention can feel pleasant in the beginning, it eventually becomes predictable if it is not supported by genuine emotional connection. What truly stands out is the quality of the interaction rather than the quantity of messages exchanged. An emotional experience is created through authenticity. When you genuinely listen instead of waiting for your turn to speak, people notice. When you remember small details they shared weeks earlier, they feel valued. When your words are encouraging during difficult moments, they associate your presence with comfort and emotional security. These experiences create positive emotional memories that are much stronger than superficial compliments or repeated attempts to impress someone. Another reason emotional experiences become unforgettable is because emotions activate reflection. During quiet moments, especially at night, when daily distractions fade, people naturally revisit conversations and experiences that affected them emotionally. They may remember the confidence in your voice, the calmness you displayed during a stressful situation, or the way you made them laugh without trying too hard. These memories often replay because they were connected to genuine feelings rather than routine communication. It is equally important to avoid forcing emotional moments. Real connection cannot be manufactured through dramatic behavior or manipulation. Trying too hard to create excitement often has the opposite effect because people can usually sense when emotions are being exaggerated. Instead, meaningful experiences grow naturally through honesty, respect, humor, empathy, and emotional maturity. Small moments of genuine kindness often leave a deeper impact than grand gestures made only to gain attention. Healthy attraction is built when both people enjoy each other's presence without pressure. When conversations feel effortless and emotionally positive, they become something worth remembering. Rather than focusing on saying the perfect words, focus on creating an environment where the other person feels comfortable being themselves. In the end, people may forget the exact topics you discussed, but they are far more likely to remember the emotions they experienced while spending time with you. Those emotions become lasting memories, and lasting memories are what keep someone thinking about you long after the conversation is over. One of the most attractive qualities a person can develop is having a clear sense of purpose. In relationship psychology, confidence that comes from personal growth often creates a stronger impression than confidence that depends on someone else's approval. When your life is centered around meaningful goals, healthy habits, and continuous self-improvement, your energy naturally changes. You no longer seek constant attention because your happiness is built on something much deeper than temporary validation. Many people believe that the best way to keep someone's interest is by making them the center of their world. While caring about another person is important, completely abandoning your own ambitions can slowly reduce the balance within the relationship. If every decision, every conversation, and every emotion revolves around one person, the connection may begin to feel heavy instead of exciting. A healthy relationship grows when both individuals continue developing their own lives while supporting each other along the way. Having purpose does not mean becoming emotionally unavailable or ignoring someone. It means understanding that your identity is not defined by a relationship alone. Whether you are building a career, learning a new skill, improving your health, or pursuing a passion that genuinely excites you, these activities shape your character. They make your conversations more interesting because you bring new experiences, fresh perspectives, and positive energy instead of relying on the relationship to create all of your happiness. Purpose also creates emotional stability. When challenges appear, people who have direction in life are often better equipped to manage disappointment without losing their confidence. They understand that setbacks are temporary and that their long-term goals remain unchanged. This calm and balanced mindset is attractive because it reflects maturity rather than emotional dependence. It shows that you can care deeply about someone while still maintaining your own values and priorities. Another psychological factor is perceived value. People naturally become more curious about individuals who are actively engaged in meaningful pursuits. When someone sees that your time is invested in productive activities, instead of constantly seeking attention, they recognize that your presence has value. This does not mean pretending to be busy or creating artificial distance. It simply means respecting your own time enough to invest it wisely. Genuine purpose cannot be faked because it is reflected through consistent actions over time. A person who lives with purpose also communicates differently. They tend to speak with greater confidence because their self-worth is not dependent on receiving compliments or reassurance. They listen more carefully, respond more thoughtfully, and remain emotionally composed during disagreements. Their confidence comes from knowing who they are and where they are going, not from trying to impress others. This creates a sense of reliability that many people find comforting and attractive. Ultimately, focusing on your purpose benefits both your personal life and your relationships. It encourages independence, emotional resilience, and continuous growth while allowing genuine attraction to develop naturally. Instead of chasing attention or trying to prove your worth, you become someone whose actions reflect confidence, discipline, and authenticity. Those qualities often leave a lasting impression because they are rooted in real character rather than temporary emotions. One of the biggest differences between confidence and insecurity is where a person looks for their sense of worth. People who constantly need approval from others often feel anxious when they do not receive immediate attention, while those who value themselves from within remain emotionally steady regardless of outside reactions. In relationship psychology, this inner confidence is often far more attractive than endless attempts to gain validation. It creates an atmosphere of emotional security that allows relationships to grow naturally instead of being driven by fear or uncertainty. Seeking validation is something almost everyone experiences at some point. Wanting to be appreciated or respected is a normal human desire. However, problems begin when self-worth becomes completely dependent on another person's responses. Constantly checking whether someone has replied, worrying about every small change in their behavior, or needing frequent reassurance can create unnecessary emotional pressure. Instead of allowing the relationship to develop comfortably, It becomes centered on reducing anxiety rather than enjoying genuine connection. People are naturally drawn to individuals who are emotionally balanced. This does not mean pretending to have no emotions or acting distant. Emotional balance simply means understanding your own value without requiring constant proof from someone else. When you are comfortable with who you are, you communicate more calmly, make decisions with greater clarity, and avoid reacting impulsively to temporary situations. This level of emotional maturity often creates trust because it shows that your feelings are guided by stability rather than insecurity. Another important aspect of self-validation is respecting your own boundaries. Someone who values themselves does not feel the need to sacrifice their principles just to gain attention or approval. They are willing to express their opinions respectfully, maintain their personal standards, and accept that not every interaction will lead to perfect agreement. This confidence makes conversations feel more authentic because they are based on honesty instead of trying to please everyone. Healthy relationships are built through mutual appreciation rather than one person constantly proving their worth. When both individuals feel secure within themselves, communication becomes more relaxed and meaningful. There is less pressure to impress, fewer misunderstandings caused by overthinking, and more room for trust to develop. Instead of focusing on whether you are receiving enough attention, you naturally begin focusing on the quality of the connection itself. It is also important to remember that confidence is reflected through actions more than words. A person who values themselves keeps promises, takes responsibility for mistakes, and remains respectful even during disagreements. They do not need to announce their confidence because it is visible through consistent behavior. This quiet self-assurance often leaves a stronger impression than loud displays of ego or exaggerated attempts to appear important. Ultimately, the goal is not to stop caring about what others think altogether. Healthy relationships require empathy, communication, and consideration for each other's feelings. The difference is that your happiness should not depend entirely on someone else's approval. When your confidence comes from your character, personal growth, and values, you become emotionally stronger and more authentic. That inner stability creates an environment where respect, attraction, and genuine emotional connection can grow naturally without the constant need for validation. Strong relationships are not built by one person doing all the work. They grow when both people have the opportunity to contribute emotionally, communicate openly, and invest their time and energy in the connection. One of the most overlooked ideas in relationship psychology is that people often value what they actively participate in creating. When someone is given the space to contribute to a relationship, they naturally begin to feel a stronger sense of emotional connection and personal importance. Many people mistakenly believe that constantly giving more attention, making all the plans, starting every conversation, and solving every problem will automatically make someone appreciate them more. While kindness and effort are essential in any healthy relationship, carrying the entire emotional weight alone can create an unhealthy imbalance. If one person is always chasing while the other simply receives, the relationship may lose its natural sense of partnership. Emotional investment begins with balanced communication. Instead of feeling responsible for keeping every conversation alive, allow discussions to develop naturally. Give the other person room to ask questions, share stories, express opinions, and show curiosity about your life as well. A meaningful relationship is built through mutual exchange, not one-sided effort. When both people contribute equally, the connection feels more genuine and emotionally satisfying. Trust also grows through shared experiences. Whether it is supporting each other during difficult moments, celebrating personal achievements, or simply enjoying everyday conversations, every shared experience becomes part of the emotional foundation of the relationship. These moments cannot be created by one person alone. They require participation from both sides, which strengthens feelings of closeness and mutual appreciation over time. Another important factor is allowing someone the freedom to choose their level of involvement. Genuine affection cannot be forced through pressure, guilt, or constant persuasion. People form deeper emotional bonds when they feel that their actions come from personal choice rather than obligation. Giving someone the opportunity to invest emotionally without demanding, it creates a healthier and more respectful dynamic. It encourages sincerity instead of compliance. Patience is equally important. Emotional attachment develops gradually as trust, consistency, and positive experiences accumulate over time. Trying to rush emotional closeness often creates unnecessary pressure that can slow the natural development of the relationship. Instead, focus on building a connection through honest communication, reliability, and mutual respect. These qualities allow emotional investment to grow steadily rather than depending on temporary excitement. It is also essential to continue investing in your own life while building a relationship. Personal growth, meaningful goals, and emotional independence make you a stronger partner because they prevent the relationship from becoming your only source of fulfillment. When both individuals maintain their individuality while contributing equally to the relationship, the connection becomes healthier and more balanced. Each person brings value instead of expecting the other to provide everything emotionally. Ultimately, lasting attraction is not created by endless effort from one side. It grows when both people willingly participate, support one another, and feel equally involved in building the relationship. By encouraging balanced communication, respecting each other's independence, and allowing emotional investment to happen naturally, you create a connection based on trust, appreciation, and genuine partnership. These are the qualities that leave a lasting emotional impact and form the foundation of healthy, meaningful relationships. Every interaction leaves an impression, but the way an interaction ends often has a lasting impact on how it is remembered. In relationship psychology, people frequently recall the final moments of a conversation more clearly than everything that happened before them. This does not mean the beginning or middle of a conversation is unimportant, but the ending often shapes the emotional memory that stays with someone after they walk away. A respectful, positive, and confident farewell can leave a stronger impression than trying to extend a conversation long after its natural conclusion. Many people make the mistake of believing that longer conversations automatically create stronger attraction. In reality, meaningful conversations are remembered because of their emotional quality, not because of their length. A conversation that ends while both people are still enjoying it often leaves them with positive feelings and a desire to continue talking another time. On the other hand, forcing a conversation to continue after the energy has faded can reduce the emotional impact of the entire interaction. One reason final impressions are so memorable is that the human mind naturally reflects on recent experiences. After saying goodbye, people often replay parts of the conversation in their thoughts. They may remember a genuine smile, a thoughtful comment, a shared laugh, or the calm confidence someone displayed throughout the interaction. These memories become stronger when the conversation ends naturally instead of being interrupted by unnecessary pressure, repeated messages, or attempts to seek reassurance. Confidence plays an important role in creating a lasting final impression. Someone who feels secure within themselves does not panic when a conversation comes to an end. They understand that healthy relationships are built over time and that every interaction does not need to accomplish everything at once. This relaxed attitude communicates emotional maturity. It shows that you enjoy the connection without becoming overly dependent on constant communication. Respect is another powerful factor. Ending a conversation with kindness, appreciation, and genuine warmth shows emotional intelligence. Simple gestures, such as wishing someone a good evening, thanking them for their time, or expressing that you enjoyed the conversation, create positive emotional associations. These moments may seem small, but they often become the details people remember later because they reflect sincerity rather than performance. It is also important to leave space between interactions. Healthy relationships need time for reflection, personal growth, and anticipation. When every moment is filled with constant communication, there is little opportunity for emotions to settle and meaningful memories to develop. Allowing natural pauses gives both people the chance to appreciate the connection instead of taking it for granted. This is not about creating distance as a strategy, but about respecting the rhythm of healthy communication. Ultimately, a memorable final impression is created through authenticity, confidence, and emotional balance. It is not about saying the perfect words or trying to create artificial mystery. It is about leaving every interaction with respect, positivity, and self-assurance. When someone consistently experiences calm, meaningful, and enjoyable conversations with you, those moments are more likely to stay in their thoughts long after the conversation has ended. Lasting attraction is rarely built through dramatic gestures. More often, it grows through small, genuine interactions that leave people feeling valued, respected, and looking forward to the next time they see or speak with you.